This is VOA News. I'm Joe Ramsey. Ukrainian tanks and soldiers train every day on the country's northeastern front as tensions rise, AP correspondent Charles De Ledesma reports.
The troops throw grenades and fire machine guns at targets, but it's only a drill. However, the sound of the real war rumbling just a short distance away underscores the high stakes in this part of Ukraine. Military officials say a much-anticipated Russian offensive has already started, with fighting that could determine the next phase of this war. Observers say time is of the essence, so speed and cohesion is the goal of the exercises. Grueling artillery battles have stepped up in recent weeks. I'm Charles De Ledesma.
U.S. Secretary of State Antony Blinken is in Kazakhstan for a series of meetings with top Central Asian diplomats.
In our discussions today, I reaffirmed the United States' unwavering support for Kazakhstan, like all nations, to freely determine its future, especially as we mark 1 year since Russia launched its full-scale invasion of Ukraine in a failed attempt to deny its people that very freedom.
U.S. President Joe Biden's administration is pledging to support the independence of the 5 Central Asian nations in a not so subtle warning to the former Soviet states that Russia's value as a partner has been badly compromised by its year-old war against Ukraine. Rescue teams have pulled more bodies from the sea, bringing the death toll from Italy's latest migrant tragedy to 65. Prosecutors have identified 3 suspected smugglers. Police said Tuesday they charged €8,000 each for the so-called voyage of death from Turkey to Italy. This is VOA News. The head of a U.S. government program to fight AIDS, Dr. John Nakasong, has said that in the 20 years of existence, the President's Emergency Plan for AIDS Relief, or PEPFAR, has saved 25 million lives. Kate Bartlett reports for VOA from Johannesburg on the milestone.
PEPFAR, set up in 2003 under the administration of former U.S. President George W. Bush, has transformed the trajectory of HIV/AIDS, Nkengasong told reporters Tuesday while visiting South Africa.
25 million lives have been saved. 5.5 million children have been born free of HIV/AIDS.
Nkengasong, who comes from Cameroon, said there was once a sense of hopelessness in Africa, the continent worst hit by HIV/AIDS. But since then, countries' economies have increased and life expectancy has improved. Kate Bartlett for VOA News, Johannesburg.
Libya's parliament hit back Tuesday at the UN envoy to the war-torn country after he criticized its failure to agree to a legal basis for elections and proposed a UN-led initiative. The form and rules around elections have been key sticking points in Libya's faltering peace process since the last major round of fighting in the North African country, torn apart by a decade of war. The envoy had on Monday told the UN Security Council he planned to create a high-level steering panel to enable presidential and legislative elections to be held this year. The Mexican president says that electric car company Tesla has committed to building a plant in the industrial hub of Monterrey in northern Mexico. President Andrés Manuel López Obrador said the promise came in phone calls he had Friday and Monday with Tesla head Elon Musk. It would be Tesla's 3rd plant outside the U.S. after one in Shanghai and one near Berlin. The computer system at the U.S. Marshal Service was hit by a ransomware attack, the AP's Ed Donahue reports.
A spokesman says hackers stole sensitive and personally identifiable data less than 2 weeks ago about agency employees and targets of investigations. The hacked system was disconnected shortly after the breach was discovered. Ransomware attacks have crippled everything from Britain's postal service to Ireland's National Health Network to Costa Rica's government. Schools, hospitals, and local governments are routinely targeted. Criminals can hold data hostage, even if the target quickly restores the affected network with backup data. The Marshal Service tracks down fugitives, transports federal prisoners, protects witnesses, and provides court security. Ed Donahue, Washington.
It comes as the U.S. city of Chicago holds a mayoral election today, but it's going to take weeks before a runoff election is decided. I'm Joe Ramsey.
Please subscribe, like, or comment. Thank you.